Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Somebody say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's go, Bama Nation. Let's do it, man. Y'all ready to have some fun this morning? I'm ready. Let's do it, man. How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all had a good workout this morning. 2.3 miles today. 2.3 miles today. We got it in today. Let me know if y'all can hear the audio good. It sounds like, okay, now we're good. I think we're good. That small little adjustment made that much of a difference. I think we are way better now. Mic check, mic check. Now we looking good. Now we sounding good. How's everybody doing this morning? Good to see y'all in the chat, man. Look like Mary J ran through the comments. I'm gonna go through them and just say what's up to y'all real quick, because this morning, as you know, for the Coach Smook morning show, we don't do necessarily the back and forth interactive throughout the segment. We do it towards the end. So I like to acknowledge you all, you know, periodically throughout. If I'm talking softer, it's because I started getting a little under the weather yesterday. Like this weather change is really getting to me, and I'm not slowing down on my working out. So I'm just a little under the weather, trying to preserve my energy and my voice for this weekend. There's going to be a lot of energy thrown out this week for content. Also, I got high school football coverage this Friday night, so it's going to be a long week. So I'm trying to learn how to pace myself, still bring that quality information and bring that energy. But we got to be able to spread it out, and we're going to build our energy up to it, man. Getting back in the gym, trying to get our physical bodies back straight, and then, you know, the mental comes along with that. So let me get the whiteboard down. I ain't done with the whiteboard just yet. We're going to put the whiteboard down for now. I ain't done with it just yet. I got some stuff I'm going to do on that whiteboard. It's going to be some fun. What's up, everybody, though? Good to see everybody. Still is Bama for life. Well, good to see you, man, from Big Bessemer. I was just watching a documentary on Bessemer. Mary J, we can run them from up there. I'm gonna do it. Zach, good to see you. Roll Tide, my brother. Good to see you, man. I know how it is, man. My boy Zach, good phone call yesterday too, Zach. I've been going back. As you all know, I go back and I try to listen to all the phone calls. We're gonna be putting out a lot of them. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it today. Good morning, Coach Smook and everybody. What's up, Tevin? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Mary J, can you run those? I'm trying to run the sound effects in the back too. Got Tevin in the chat. Then who else we got after Tevin? We got Antoine. Good to see you, Antoine. Good to see you, brother. Roll Tide, roll. We got Dylan in the chat. Good to see you, Dylan. My boy Dylan be popping in. I've been seeing Dylan on the social media. What's up, Urban Essence? Good morning, Roll Tide. Good to see you, pretty woman. Dominique, what's good, Dominique Mason? Good to see you, youngin. Roll Tide. Dominique Macon. I said Dominique Mason. I'm sorry. I had a player named Dominique Mason. Hey, what up, Motivated? Dedicated is in the chat, man. I thought you was going to call in on the phone line last night. We had the phone lines open for you. I wanted to give you a chance to talk about your little puppies, man, but you ain't show up. Bama boy, good to see you. Roll Tide, man. Good to see everybody in the chat, man. Going to be a wild week. Facts. It is. I finished watching the live earlier from last night and got the notification like, dang, he live again. What's up, Sully? Look, man, that's the point, bro. We want you to, every time you turn your phone on, you want to see that you missed a show from Coach Smook. We want you to be not mad, but be disappointed that you missed a Coach Smook interaction. Yeah, Darius, you know, Mondays and Fridays is when we do our call-in shows. You just running from this smoke, man. You come in, you talk, you know when to pick and choose to show up, trying to act like you want to be here. You ain't confident in your boys. But we're going to get into the show, man. Like I said, appreciate y'all for being here. We're going to jump this thing off here in about 15 seconds. But before we get in, let me start it up on first of all, before we go any further, I have to get over to my TikTok audience. And let me not do that one because that's not correct. But let's go live. Let's go here. Let's upload the other thumbnail. Now let's save and go live. Now let's refresh it. Now let's get this copied and pasted. All right, y'all, give me like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm gonna get us into our segment for today. I forgot to start the TikTok live up, y'all. StreamYard don't have it automatically loaded yet. They got it for your clips and stuff, but they don't have it for when you have the stream key. You gotta do some other stuff. So that's what we got going right now. And it looks like TikTok is up in 3, 2, 1. Are we up? And we're up on YouTube too, man. Continue running likes up. We already got 10 likes on the stream. We ain't even made it a full 10 minutes into the show. Appreciate everybody for being here last night too. Again, we hit our like goal on the stream. Vibes. Y'all know what it is when we do what we do, when we doing what we doing and how we do it. It's always a vibe, man. You know what? I think the biggest thing right now with our content is that we haven't had to change who we are to get people to rock with us at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, we have yet to change our style as far as who we are as Coach Smook Network, as Coach Smook, the personality, the media personality. I have yet to change how I present that. I have yet to change it. Now, when we present ourselves on certain platforms, do we change up our delivery? Yes, but who we are as a product, I have not done it and don't plan on doing it. I think this industry needs more of what our personality, what we stand for, especially in the BAMA fan base. I go to other fan bases and interact with their content creators, and they have so much more sense and ability to accept opinion and difference of opinion and all that good stuff better than a lot of these BAMA folks. So that's why you see me interact with a lot of them. Georgia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Wisconsin, USC, we Ole Miss. We've been doing a lot across some other platforms. Y'all, I don't know what's going on with the TikTok stuff, but let me try it one more time. Let me try one more time. I don't know what's going on with TikTok, but we will try to remove it one last time. And then we're going to add it one last time. And if it don't work this time, we're just going to keep pushing, y'all. We're going to keep pushing. TikTok will just have to pull up on us today. Over here on YouTube and Twitch and Kick and Twitter and Facebook. They'll just have to pull up on these platforms today. What's up? What's up, bro? What's up, J-Ro? Good to see you, man, over there on the Twitter side. Appreciate you for pulling up, man. I was hoping to get y'all boys on the phone line last night. We got Big BAMA on the line. He pulled up on us, man. Good vibes. Talking that good talk. Creating some good conversation. I don't know what's going on with the TikTok stream, y'all. I guess we ain't gonna be able to run it today. All right, so that's okay. So like StreamYard is having some issues, so we're gonna leave that alone today. So TikTok not gonna be available today, but we everywhere else, so that's all good. All right, y'all, let's get in the game. I'm ready to talk this game. I'm ready to break it down. I brought some things to the table today, as always. Y'all know I don't talk about the normal stuff. I talk about the real and what's happening and what's going to happen in this game, or what I feel like should happen and how it should turn out. This game should be a very good one. It should be a very good one, and I'm gonna break down. I'm not gonna give my opinion just yet. I'm just gonna weigh out the numbers, weigh out the facts of philosophy and play calling styles and personnel available. And we're going to talk about how this game can turn out, where the advantages are, where the disadvantages are when it comes to Alabama going in and trying to get a victory against Georgia. I'm not going to too much harken on what Georgia doesn't have and, you know, what they're lacking and why they're lacking it. I'm going to highlight a problem, or highlight a specialty or strength of theirs. And then I'm going to highlight how we counter it, how we should be able to counter it, and where we see our advantages and disadvantages. So let's get into the show. If y'all ready to get into it, y'all know what to type in the chat, man. I know we got a slim crowd right now, but y'all know what to type in the chat. Somebody type it in the chat. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's get into it, chat.
You're talking about Jalen Miro and the Pips, the perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
Not going to take up a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
All right, y'all, let's talk about it, man. I think this is the game, not the game of the week or the season. I think this is the game where the national scene gets put on notice for both teams. This ghost of Georgia and their two national championships, understanding that team, they benefited from having one of the most veteran rosters. I'm glad a Georgia fan came in and said it the other day on the chat. You look at it and you say, this Georgia team, for the first time in Kirby's tenure there, has to deal with a lot of youth spread out across, a lot of inexperience spread across this Georgia roster, as far as guys having to play impactful minutes, right? Meaningful minutes. So I look at this game and I break it down into a lot of factors. Let's just start with personnel available. We talk about Alabama returning in the full roster, basically 70%, 80% of their production from both sides of the ball from last year, right? Then you go in the portal, you add personnel, Isaiah Horton, Cam Calhoun, Nakai Hill-Green, guys that have already been impactful as far as how they have shown up for the roster, right? These are three guys that have shown up every game for this roster. Then you turn around and you go and get a freshman class in this 25 recruiting class, the number 2 or the number 1 recruiting class, I believe officially was the number 2 recruiting class overall ranked. But these guys, you have some guys in this class that are day one ready and playing impactful minutes already. London Simmons, the surprise, the surprise emerging star across the defensive front. You got Justin Hill in that linebacker room. You have Dijon Lee being asked to play big minutes. You see Latsier Brooks being called on early in this season. And then you also see young guys like A.K. Deer is showcasing their explosiveness, right? Michael Carroll on that offensive line looks like he should be starting. We'll be talking about a few of those things today, but I look at it and I look on the other side of the ball. I mean, other side of the fence, and you look at Georgia's roster, and Georgia has a lot of young talent, maybe not freshmen, but these are guys that have not had much experience on the field. They go out, they get some explosive weapons like the Branch twins. They bring those guys in. They recruit some solid running backs. They have a change of speed back. I can't forget the young man. Remember the young man's name? I think it's number 30 or 21, or I can't remember his name. I'm gonna pull up the depth charts here in a second. But they have a change of speed back, man. He's not even their first back. And everybody's worried about their number one back. Everybody's talking about that's all they have. But we're gonna break this thing down, chat. Y'all don't understand. The schematics of this game are going to matter. Pace of play calling are going to be so important, because I think that's truly the difference in this game. It's not a skill thing for this game. This is going to be a coaching matchup. And whichever coaching staff can get a rhythm established on the offensive side first, I think will have the advantage. Defenses, I think both have their holes, but Georgia is more concerned about being able to keep up with scoring points, right? So this is going to be one of those games where I think where you have to start, where you have to look before you look anywhere else, before you start talking about weapons, before you start talking about receivers, quarterbacks, anything. You have to look at the offensive lines and the defensive line. So Bama versus Georgia, the trenches. Let's talk about the trenches. When I look at Alabama's offensive front, we look at that front and everybody's excited because there's this rotation. Well, I'm not going to say everybody's excited. People are worried. I'm excited about the rotation, but people are worried. People are worried. What's up, MJ? Good to see you. People are worried because Alabama has yet to stick with a 5 and go. Well, if you haven't seen it if you haven't been paying attention in college football, teams like Michigan utilize 6-7 line rotation. Ohio State last season had 6 men that they had to rotate due to injuries. And, even when their line got healthy again, they did it. Vanderbilt had much success doing it. Georgia Tech did it. A lot of teams that had your most efficient run offenses played with 6-7 man offensive line rotation. And this is a system under Kalen DeBoer that has seen this success in multiple stops. So I look at it and I say, is this a problem because we're seeing our left tackle struggle in Caden Proctor? I don't think so. I think he's going to get started. Caden Proctor over his career, his first 3 games have always been so inconsistent. And then you see him kind of level out and find some consistency. Hopefully this game, which he usually does in those big games, he gets to show up. And I will say this. Georgia's defensive front is not as athletic or not as dominant as they have been in the past. I saw Austin P really standing these guys up. Same thing with Tennessee. And Tennessee's offensive line is beat up right now. They're missing one of their star guys. I think is in Sanders is one of their star guys on that offensive line. So they were kind of patching the O-line up, and they held up good. They were able to, almost get 400 passing yards and over 100 rushing yards against Georgia. So it wasn't like the defense dominated by any means. They gave up 41 points. They gave up 38 points in regulation. Alabama's been averaging, over the season, I believe 38 points. And so this is going to be a test of wheels here. Can Georgia's offense have another spurt if their defense doesn't show up? I don't know. So we look at the fronts. And let me get my diagram up here. Here we go. I look at Georgia's defensive front, and just off top, you have guys on the interior like Miller, Hall, McLeod. Those guys, they pop out. The true freshman Elijah Griffin, we've seen him have some sparks, man. They got a solid rotation in their front. And then you look at number 0 on the edge. Number 0 on the edge, he provides a different type of athleticism, but nobody's really getting a dominant push. Nobody's getting a consistent push. But if you look across this front, this is probably the youngest that we've seen a Georgia front. I mean, overall, collectively, you don't see not one true senior. You see a redshirt junior in Christian Miller, right? He's a redshirt junior, 4th-year guy, so he can be counted as a senior. But that's one out of your starting 7 guys in your rotation, or your 6 guys in your front rotation. And so you're not dealing with a lot of experience. And then one of the guys that you're seeing blossom, he's not necessarily I guess he's not necessarily up to par or up to speed with the playbook, playing in that front, coming off the defensive tackle position. And we know how much that 2-gap scheme, how important that is to have some quality defensive tackles, not just guys that can move and cause ruckus in the middle, but can really hold up 2 gaps and force teams to, to force them into horrible misdirection reads, right? So I look at the fronts. I look at the defensive tackle position for Georgia. It hasn't been dominant. I look at the end position. They have yet to really establish a pass rush. Same thing we're dealing with in our defensive front. A lot of athleticism, right? LT Overton is starting to blossom the last 2 weeks. Has flashes week 1. Keon Keeley in that rotation. We've seen Quay Russaw get real nasty off the edge. Yanzi Pierre getting to the quarterback a lot more now. James Smith getting a better push. The last 2 weeks we've seen Landon Simmons, but has anybody emerged in like a big game? No. Tennessee, they were able to stand this defensive front up, and we know Kirby Smart is not going to be he thinks he has the best front, so he's going to want to try to get pressure with 3 and 4. He wants his guys to be able to handle space in that secondary, right? He wants you to hand the ball off and allow his guys to flood to the run, because physicality, they love coming downhill and making plays. So I look at the fronts and I say, right now, where does the pass rush come from Georgia on a consistent basis to really combat Alabama's offensive line? This is an offensive line. I think we've only given up 3 sacks on Ty Simpson this season. Let me double check. I'm gonna double check before somebody get mad and be saying that I don't know my stuff. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get this pulled up. I got notes everywhere, y'all. Let me find the file. Let me search it. I'll be naming stuff. It'd be late at night. All right, so let me pull it up. All right, here we go. Where is it? Where'd my file go? I'm trying to find this. I had the sacks and everything already outlined. I don't want to go to the stats again. Looks like I'm gonna have to. Give me 1 second, chat. Give me 1 second. Let me see real quick, chat. Real quick. I gotta okay, we'll go in here then. I guess. So Ty Simpson's only been sacked 4 times this season. Last week against Wisconsin, that was kind of like I'm going to eat this one sack against Wisconsin, but Florida State was able to get pressures. Not necessarily get pressures. He ran himself into 2 sacks, and Caden Proctor got beat on one. I think the Richard Young stepping up in the pocket to take on the blitz, that was one that kind of woke him up against Wisconsin. That was the Wisconsin game. But other than that, man, you saw this team really just play like pass pro wise. Alabama has had solid pass pro. You're talking about a team with a 70% completion percentage for the season thus far, right? Almost 1,000 yards passing. So this team can get this ball going downfield for Ty Simpson. They can pass pro. It's still 0 interceptions. Georgia is not a team that has been able to force interceptions because their front, they have not been able to get pressure up front. They have not been able to force many turnovers because their defensive front has not been able to get pressures. Alabama has not gotten many sacks, but if you look at our pressure rate, we have one of the higher pressure rates in the country. We're right there behind Oklahoma, who has one of the best pressure rates and one of the best defenses right now, efficiency stat-wise, in the country. So I think right now, when you look at the defensive fronts, who's able to get pressure, who's able to get the quarterback off platform, who's able to get guys out of phase quicker, I think Alabama gives you that advantage. So I'm looking at the fronts now, and I'm talking about the defensive fronts for both teams. Alabama defensive front is the depth of rotation a little bit better because you have that veteran experience, or you have those guys, those redshirt sophomores, those redshirt juniors, those 4th and 5th year guys that have played maybe 120 more snaps than other guys. You have those guys with that experience. Is that why you're seeing a different type of production? I think the only thing that Georgia has done a little bit better than Alabama, and I can't say that it's the same because Georgia missed a lot of tackles against Tennessee too. I think Georgia had 9 missed tackles against Tennessee. 9 missed tackles against Tennessee. That's a tackling problem when you're talking about a Georgia defense that's talking about physicality, coming down, not wrapping up, missing tackles. That sounds like a team that we're very familiar with, especially here at Bama Nation. So if they have a tackling problem against this explosive offense, especially up front with the way that Kevin Riley is running, we know we got Jam Miller back. His explosiveness, his breakaway speed there. Richard Young's physicality, his style of running should be implemented a lot during this game, should be utilized. So I'm looking for a turnover of tendencies to happen this game when it comes to these defensive fronts. If Georgia's front can't get a push, whether that's in the pass rush, if they can't get any penetration in the run game, I think they're in trouble. Alabama's thing is we've been getting pushed. We've been getting penetration. We got to finish tackles. And it's more so from the second level in the linebackers, not necessarily to the front, but the second level in the linebackers. So that's a key matchup that we're going to look at, the defensive fronts. How many snaps? Let me see. Go back to that. How many snaps do we feel TK is going to get? I think he needs to get no more than 15. No more than 15 snaps. And those should be short yardage situations. Stuff in the run block, the run scheme. I don't put him in anything where he's going to have to chase down lateral. I don't want to see him in those situations. Let him be a motor, north and south motor, north motor, not even south, north motor. Be a steady piece in the center of that defense. Those missed tackles are going to make this girl seek therapy 100%, Cindy, 100%. I don't know who that is on kick. We got to dominate the line of scrimmage this game. Facts. Roll Tide, bitch. That's what I'm talking about. Those championship teams, D-lines were products of COVID and were older guys. When they dominated us, that were the 4th and 5th year guys, whereas we had freshmen and still competed. And that's what I'm trying to say. This is the first year since 21, since 2019 that Kirby has had a team this young. You're absolutely right. COVID has definitely helped Georgia. Georgia hasn't been a team that's been plagued by the portal like Alabama was. Alabama had a little culture issue going on, and then when Saban finally retired, the floodgates were open. Kids and their feelings started to come out, and you saw that happen with the portal moves. You saw it happen. You saw it happen with NIL. So I'm looking at it now, and I think right now the cycle has caught up with Georgia, and we might see what we're used to seeing from Alabama. I mean, from Georgia against Alabama as of recent years, where the fronts is what we're usually worried about. I think our offensive line is able to match up against this defensive front because of that youth and because of their lack of explosiveness up front. They don't have a guy that makes you turn his head on that defensive front. They have a group of guys that's like, okay, they're good together, but who will separate from that Georgia defensive front to make us turn heads? I can name about 3 or 4 against in our Alabama front that can make you really turn their heads if they come with their A game. James Smith being number 1. We saw London Simmons really just explode on the scene. Those two starting together has been surprisingly like a dynamic duo. And then you're going to have Tim Keenan back to help in the run stopping, right? You You give those guys the interior and they do their jobs, becoming disruptive, coming off the edge. LT Overton is going in the first round. The way he's playing, the way he played last year, I think he's fixed exactly what he needs to fix, and that's finishing in those plays and wrapping up in the backfield and finishing those plays. He's become explosive. And then behind him, you got Keon Keeley and Kelby Collins rotating in. Those guys look good behind LT. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this, 31 and 22 on the field together is pretty dynamic. When you're able to float Quay Roos out to the middle, to the interior of our defense, that's a solid front. But then on the other side, you got Yanzi and Quay. That rotation, honestly, I've seen Yanzi being a lot more explosive than Quay, but Quay has been so steady. You can't take a snap off against Quay. Been getting a lot of tight end chips, a lot of tackle and guard looks. And then, like I said, from the interior, man, if we can fix the inside linebacker room completely and get those guys physical with filling those run fits, the front is doing their job. The defensive front is doing their job. Our missed tackles, the most missed tackles came from that linebacker room. Let's switch it. Let's go to the next matchup. The linebackers. Now, it's not necessarily a matchup. This is kind of like a comparison or evaluation. Bama linebackers, inside linebackers versus Georgia inside linebackers. ILB play. That's what we'll call it. Inside linebacker play. Now, for the first time in years, especially since Kirby has been there, we see Georgia and their inside linebacker play is nowhere near as explosive and dominant as we're used to. Like, I remember you could look at Georgia and be like, okay, that linebacker going to be a first rounder. Right now this year, because of the lack of the experience, because of the youth on that side of the ball, they don't have a guy that they can really lean on and say, this is our guy. CJ Allen is that guy, and he's not first round talent in my personal opinion. You get what I'm saying? He's not that guy that when you wake up, when you game plan, you're looking for him to be one of those guys that's giving you problems down in and down out. Now, Georgia runs a 3-4 nickel, right? They run a 3-4 nickel, and their second level is very susceptible to the middle of the field passing game. If you get a lot of intermediate concepts going against Georgia, that means you're giving them problems. And I don't see a quarterback in that room right now. When I look at the roster, when I say, the sophomore, Chris Cole, who gets some snaps, I believe he's number 9. He gets some snap. He looks athletic when he's out there, but he looks lost all the time. And then they got another sophomore right there behind CJ Allen. Not Walker, not the freshman, because he hasn't even been getting time like I thought he would. Williams, the sophomore Williams, number 19. These guys are not impact players right now. Now, do they show up against Bama? Maybe. There's a lot of emotion goes into these games. Guys show up for certain games. But when I talk about what's been put on film, this inside linebacker play from Georgia has not been elite as we've seen them be in the past. You get what I'm saying? So when I look at it, if there was a game for us to try to be able to establish the run, I think Kirby is going to keep it base. He's going to keep alignment honest, pre-snap alignment. Unless he's trying to crowd the box to show pass pressures, right? Pass blitzes. I don't think we'll see a situation like we did against Wisconsin where you see 7 guys within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage, within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage in the tackle box. I don't think we'll see that. I don't care what. We did a few formations against Wisconsin where we had unbalanced line. You had the tight end playing basically lined up at the right tackle position, and you had that right tackle pull over and be an extra tackle on the left side inside of Caden Proctor. Right, those unbalanced lines were confusing to teams. That's why those run plays were working in certain parts of the game. You come out, you sugar huddle, you come out in the formation, you get a line real quick. Guys aren't able to pay attention to personnel in that alignment. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But I look at the second level, the linebackers right now. The linebackers right now, I'm looking at CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson. Those guys, they play a good brand of ball. But after that, You're not seeing them make big plays in the backfield. You're not seeing them, create turnovers. They're just playing sound football right now. And that might be good enough against regular teams, but we've seen Alabama's offense get flowing. We've seen Alabama's perform at a peak against Florida State, which is a defense that's been playing lights out this whole season. So we're going to see this matchup. Inside linebackers on Alabama side, Nakai Hill-Green has been the most consistent performer. Even week one, when his first week in a new system, a new scheme, we saw him make a big mistake, filling the wrong gap, jumping the wrong gap, not taking on the block, not forcing it back inside. His leverage was off. Come back a few drives later, has the same opportunity and helps make a play. And been playing lights out since week one. Justin Jefferson, intensity has definitely increased against lesser talent. We got to see him show up in one of these big games against SEC opponents. And I know you're kind of light in britches, but where's that fire that we got from those highlight films, man? That headhunter mentality that you were showcasing in that highlight film. We need that because your speed is there. I know you're coming in as a hybrid weak side linebacker, whatever you want to call it, Sam, strong side linebacker, but you got to be able to bring that thump, man. And Deontay Lawson, if you show up and play like you played against ULM, I mean, just that energy, that effort, I think we have a better product with our inside linebacker room. And Mary J, can you find that comment? I like QB Reese. If we're not getting the intensity from the inside linebacker room that we want, QB Reese deserves an opportunity to get in there and give us some run fits. DJ Smitty coming in with that comment. DJ Smitty, wear your wristband, man. Go get that wristband. Join that AAA family. But I'm telling y'all right now, if we're not seeing the intensity from the inside linebacker room, let's roll our young guys in there. I love QB Reese and I love AJ Abdul-Sanders Jr. as far as guys that's going to run fit. They're going to tackle with some energy. They're going to have a motor. I think our weakness has definitely been in the run fits. Inside linebacker coverage has not been a problem for us this season. It really wasn't a problem for us last season. Those guys swarming to the ball, making tackles in open field wasn't a problem. The linebackers, they might were getting beat, right, on a few plays, but as far as making tackles in the open field, we saw some quality guys in position to make plays. Finishing those tackles, run fits, finishing those blitz. I mean, Deontay Lawson, to me, if you're not able to give 100% on the run blitz or the blitzes when we're at third and passing, we got to rotate another defender in there. We got to rotate another personnel in there that can blitz and finish. Put some fear in the quarterback's heart. Put a hit on the quarterback. Yes, Smook. If Lawson is scared, they need to pick it up and put our youngins in there. I'm not opposed to having QB Reese or Abdul-Sanders get an opportunity. I'm not opposed to you. Like I said, I've been saying this for the longest. And third and passing, let's work Quay Roos off from the middle of the field. I feel like he can cover just as good as Lawson and Jefferson. I feel like his athleticism is there. He has the same lateral quickness, same vertical leaps, but he's a better brand of tackling. Him and Nakai Hill-Green in the middle of the field would do just fine. They would do just fine. Put Yanzi Pierre on the at the wolf position. Give me Keon Kelly at bandit. Give me LT Overton on the interior, and give me James Smith or Asai Fager or Landon Simmons, any one of those other big guys in the middle. Kelby Collins, you can go light up front and still have a sizable D line. Kelby Collins is 280. LT Overton 285. James Smith 295, 300. Yanzi Pierre 245, 250. Like, those guys can really hold down the front. You're talking about a Georgia front averaging what, 305, 315. That's a front. You got to be able to move to handle 295. These are not just, and it's not all about weight. Shout out to Kareem Hood for the $10 super chat and becoming a co-sponsor on the stream again, brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. And y'all, don't forget, you have opportunities to donate. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom. Direct donations. We got a direct donor from Doug yesterday. Did we get the banner updated, Mary J? I think we did. But appreciate you, my brother Kareem, for the $10 super chat. And y'all, while we're here acknowledging Kareem, again, give it up for him. Take an opportunity just to run the likes up on the stream, y'all. We're sitting right here right now at 21 likes. We got 39 people in the chat. We want to hit that 25 like goal. Y'all know I don't beg for no super chats. But what do we beg for? We beg for likes, chat. We beg for likes. So take a moment and like the stream right now. If you're on every platform, whatever platform, Facebook, you can react on Facebook. Y'all got my camera up here looking crazy. Y'all ain't said that to me. Facebook, YouTube, we got the like button on YouTube. And then we also on Twitch and Kick. We're on Kick. I don't think you can react on those, but if you want to drop a comment, let me know where you're watching from. Please do so. And then on Twitter, we got 62 in the chat on Twitter. Show some love on Twitter, man. I hope this coaching staff runs the ball. Mike Jones, I gotta keep reminding everybody we're running the ball just like we need to. We're running the ball just like we need to. If we're running 60 plays a game and we're able to run the ball 24 times, 22 times, and win by 3 possessions, I don't care who the team is that's balanced play calling. That means that we're in a good spot. We're making teams respect the run. You know why Wisconsin didn't allow Alabama to come out and just run the ball all over them? Why they committed to it? Because they know they didn't have the assets in the secondary to really man up and drop 8 and give Ty Simpson all that time. What they did, when they did drop 8 in coverage, they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback or couldn't force us into run reads. Guess what they were able to do? Guess what happened? They got beat badly in the secondary. And you're talking about an offense in Wisconsin. They weren't able to produce any explosive plays. Not if I'm being honest. That second half score, that was crazy work, you know. That was crazy work. Let me go look at the Wisconsin game again. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, that second half score was crazy. They had the kickoff return and then the score in the second half. I want y'all to look at a number 2 from the Wisconsin game that people aren't paying attention to. It's team stats. Here it is. Third down efficiency. Alabama only had 8 third down opportunities in this game. We went 2 of 8. That's a problem. That's a problem for me. One, it's because if you're going to have 8 opportunities to convert, right, in this game, how many possessions did we end up having this game? 11. Was it 11 total possessions? I gotta find it. No. Okay. We had 9 total possessions with 11 total possessions, 8 third down attempts, only 2 conversions, and then we converted 1 out of 2 fourth down conversions. So you're talking about a conversion rate of 3 out of 10. That's a 30% clip. That's the number that I want us to pay attention to, Bama Nation. You have to be able to convert third downs and extend drives if you want to beat a team like Georgia. That's how you get the defense tired. They have a front. They're not going deep in their front with their rotation. Their secondary struggles late in the second halves when you're able to attack them. How do you do that? You have to be able to extend drives, continue to get those guys leaned in towards helping the run game, get those linebackers out of position, right? Those, especially the middle linebackers, the Mike linebackers, that's probably where you're going to see the least rotation in a Kirby Smart defense. You're not going to see many of those guys rotating out, right? So you got to keep confusing them. And the way you do that is you got to have balance in both run and the pass game. So I'm right there with you. Let's move to the DBs. We're going to jump to the DBs. We're going to have that conversation here for about 5 minutes because I think there's no question about who's more prepared or who's more set up in the secondary when it comes to Bama and Georgia. I look at Georgia's secondary, and I'm gonna pull up their defensive stats real quick before I look at their personnel. And we know they got names. There's no question about it. I think where the problem is they don't have experience right now, Georgia. And your problem is that you're seeing an Alabama team offensively that's starting to gain confidence. And it might have been, 2 weeks ago, if Georgia would have played Alabama week 1, we might have a different story. But now Ty Simpson has a sense of timing with his pass pro that's around him. And now we're starting to see the confident throws being made on a more consistent basis. Now, right now, Alabama has forced 3 total interceptions, both interceptions, 2 interceptions by Bray Hubbard. Justin Jefferson had 1 last game against Wisconsin. dropping back in zone coverage. Keon Sabb should have had one. Who else should have had one, man? Cam Calhoun could have had one week 2 against ULM. You had a couple spots. Damani Jackson hasn't really been tried this season. Nobody's really been able to test us in the air, quote unquote, this season. So I'm looking for Georgia, especially with Gunnar Stockton. You saw them come out and give him first play, I believe, was like a 28-yarder. He threw a go ball on the perimeter. They gave him 1-on-1. If Kane Womack is going to trust our guys to do that, I want a player that's ready to make that impact play to start the game off. I want a player out there. If you're going to throw Dijon Lee out there to give them that look, let's make sure Dijon knows it's coming to him. Let's make sure Dijon knows it's coming to him so that he can make a play. That's a momentum. That's like a scenario thing that you could actually play for, because we saw them do it against Tennessee. Young corners. Let's put our young corner out there and see if they recognize and then attack it first play out the game. Get them out of their wheelhouse. Usually Georgia wants to establish the physicality. Let's attack our secondary. So our secondary right now, I think right now, because we haven't been tested in the passing game, even against Tommy Castellanos, he only threw the ball 12 times against us. Or was it 17? I think he went like 12 or 17 or some number like that. Let me look at it. Go stats. Let's go back. Game log stats. Defense. Schedule. Here we go. How many passes did Castellanos throw against us? 14. He threw the ball 14 times, chat. He went 9 for 14 in passing, and he only threw the ball for 152 yards against us. He only threw the ball for 152 yards against us. So it wasn't like they were beating us up in the passing game. They had the one big pass play to Squirrel White. Everything else was on the ground, chat. Everything else was on the ground. So the secondary is prepared. Now, Georgia's secondary, the way that Tennessee just lit that secondary up, one is not just on the secondary, but the front is not able to get pressure. That's one. Number two is Georgia's secondary has not been this young in a long time. They have not had to go and resource guys to really, like come in. And when I say young, I'm talking about snaps. I'm talking about snaps, chat. You got Ellis Robinson. That's a guy that you're going to hear his name a lot. He's a redshirt freshman. Got some time last year. Not much impactful time. They lost Antonio, the Harris kid. I forget his name. They lost the Harris kid. They were looking at him to come back this year and be an impact, but they lost him. They got Ellis Robinson. They get sophomore KJ Bolden, who's being asked to do a lot in that secondary because of what left out of that secondary. Then the senior in that group, Dylan Everett, is your liability. Number 6. Oh my God, he's your liability. I don't see him being able to match up with Jeremy Bernard or Ryan Williams in any type of man scenario. I just don't see it. Now Aguero, your nickel back, if he gets to stay close to the line of scrimmage, he may be able to help, but he's more so a physical run support type of asset. I don't think he has the ability to hang with Latier Brooks, Ryan Williams out the slot. I don't think he has the ability to hang with Rico Scott in coverage. And your safety 31, Kyron Jones, is that Kyron Jones? His recovery speed is horrible. So how much can KJ Bolden really cover in that secondary? How much is Daniel Harris? Is he going to be available? Is he hurt? Is he going to be available? And then is Zion Branch finally going to get an opportunity to be on the field? They talked all this hype about the Branch twins. Is Zion going to be able to impact this game this week? A lot of hype around him coming in. I don't know. Let me get to the chat real quick. Especially Simpson, his confidence is through the roof, 100%. What up, Chris Chapman? Good to see you, my guy. Cynthia said that's so maddening. If we had played with motivation and sure tackling, how much difference that could have made. We might have still lost, but it sure would have looked better. Cynthia, I think losing this game was the best thing that could happen because it wasn't like we played a bad brand and only lost by 2 scores. Right? We played a bad brand and lost only by 2 scores. And that was just based off talent. Like we lost with just playing with lazy talent. Imagine if we played with some effort and talent. would have been a crazy game. Horton is a matchup problem as well. Facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to have to commit your two best cover assets to Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. And then I look at our secondary versus their receivers. Now, Kobe Young is a guy to worry about when I talk about the offenses after the break. I'm gonna talk about some of their receivers, but Kobe Young, London Humphreys, Noah Thomas, Dylan Bell, Zachariah Branch, that group of 5 wide receivers, even the young redshirt freshman, Helton White Helton, I think his name's Kobe Helton. He's a guy to watch out for too. And then they got a true freshman in Taylor. He's been getting a few more snaps the last 2 games. If y'all pay attention, he's been getting a few more snaps. They've had to go to this wide receiver core to really be effective in the pass game because Oscar Delp and Lucky Lawson have not been the guys that they expected to follow up Brock. All right, they have not been able to follow up Brock, and then that's all they have in the pass game. I haven't seen their running backs be effective in the pass game, in the dump off, checking down to the flats. These guys are some speed and power runners out the backfield. So we're going to have our matchup in our secondary. And how aggressive is Kane Womack going to be to force Gunnar Stockton to throw in and test some of these matchups? Because I think when you look at the sizes and everybody across the board, I think we match up well against their experienced wide receiver core. You're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seniors in that receiving core between Humphreys, Branch, Dylan, Kobe, and Noah. All of these guys are seniors or redshirt juniors, junior transfers. So that front 5, their first 5 coming off the bench as far as their receiving core, Alabama, I believe, matches up good. Damani Jackson, Xavier Brown, Cam Calhoun, Keon Sal, Bray Hubbard. I said Brayson. Bray Hubbard. I like Dijon Lee against the big body Kobe. I'm not going to lie. Dijon Lee in this game, this will be the opportunity for him to really come out and get some of those boundary reps against a guy like Kobe Young. Physical, big frame, a red shirt. A transfer senior. But when I look at the skill sets, I don't think he has the speed to really make DJ uncomfortable like Squirrel White did. I trust DJ in this situation. And plus, that was a learning experience for DJ. So I look at our 5. Cam Calhoun is going to be needed in this game. When you got guys like Zachariah Branch that's able to play in the slot, be in the slot, you want a guy like Calhoun guarding him. You want Xavier Brown or I don't too much want Deshaun Jones in that situation. I like Dre Kirkpatrick guarding a guy like Branch, somebody that could get physical with him, or somebody that could finesse and be in phase with him, be in his hip throughout the route. So I can't wait to see. I think this is the game that Cam Calhoun gets his opportunity to really showcase his abilities to cover, because they're going to. Coach Womack said it yesterday in the interviews. We have to be a lot more aggressive. Can't come out timid. So we'll see. Shout out to everybody in chat. The growth code said, "Hey Smook, what's the deal with Cam Calhoun? Is he just not ready?" So there's been some things where it's just a rotational thing. He showed up great spring and fall. I think this is the game where we see him utilized. We see him utilized in a bigger role. If you pay attention though, he's been playing some spot reps. Him and Dijon Lee, they've been coming, kind of getting a rotation. That's the problem with us as fans. Sometimes we're so into the game and teams get to running, second, third quarter, and we're not even paying attention to the personnel on the field because the defense you're getting the same results. There's no drop off. If the defense is looking good, it's looking good. If it's looking bad, it's looking bad. But if you pay attention to the rotation, these guys are getting in the game. So Cam Calhoun is one of those names that I can't wait to see. I think he'll get a lot of opportunities, a bigger role coming into this game. And then I think after that, you kind of see where the drop off in talent is or experience is for Georgia. And it's the same for Alabama. After that first 4 or 5 names, you see the drop off in experience, and then not so much as talent, just experience for Alabama. So when I look at those 3 levels and I compare them, Alabama's defense, right, and the personnel available, right? What they're going to be asked to do, the experience there. Georgia's defense, personnel available, defensive front, linebackers and defensive backs, pass rush, what's available and what they're going to be asked to do in their scheme. This 3-4 scheme that Kirby Smart and this defensive, who's the defensive coordinator at Georgia right now, y'all? Am I tripping? Who's the defensive coordinator at Georgia? Let me find out real quick. Is it T-Rob officially? Because you know they have like 7 people calling the defense right now. Who's the official? Glenn Schumann. Okay. I knew it was either Schumann or T-Rob. I couldn't remember. Glenn Schumann, yeah. I see it now. So you're gonna have an opportunity to see Glenn Schumann, Kane Womack, who's going to come out the most aggressive. And with that aggressiveness, what are you gambling and living with? I think Alabama can live with Gunnar Stockton testing us with his arm, having to beat us with his arm. I don't think we can live with trying to react to and see everybody keep talking about we can't stop the run game. I got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna make this last little rant. Everybody says we can't stop the run game, right? Well, I beg to differ. I think Alabama can stop the run game. It's the read option that gives us problems. It's the read option that gives us problems. So this is my explanation behind it. The personnel for Alabama in alignment aligns more so with a zone run blocking scheme, right? The way that you want to attack it with zone run blocking scheme, you're trying to put bodies in spots to create lanes, right? And in zone run blocking, you want 2 to 3 lanes when you put guys in position to block. You're telling the guy to pick up a guy in this area, and climb to this area to create this lane. That's what you're doing. Well, the 4-2-5 says we're going to attack these lanes on this play, no matter what it looks like. We're going to attack these lanes, and whatever shows up, that's what we're going to hit. Once we cross a certain threshold or a certain crossing point, we should be finding the ball in some type of way when we attack this. And that's what we haven't seen from Alabama's defense. So when I break down, when I get to the breakdown, Bama versus UGA defenses, I think right now with the 4-2-5 and how Georgia's running their offense, the type of personnel that we have on the field, I don't want to see that light front. If Bama jumps out in that light front, I think we're in trouble. That puts the linebackers, the front out of position. Tackles get to climb and get to the second level way too soon. Like that's the disadvantage with that. The true 4 look up front is what's going to keep us honest, going to keep us in the game this game. I think Georgia's having enough problems with their offensive line. We'll talk about that in a minute. To where our defensive front will be more effective. Linebacker play, it's a toss-up for both. Either one show up with some energy and some effort, it could be a better product or a play from either side of the ball. And I'm talking about the inside linebacker play. I'm not talking about the edge rushers. We've already established that neither team has really established dominant edge rushing. Alabama has shown a lot more flash, been able to get home a little bit more, been able to create more pressures, but nobody's established. And then in the secondary, I think Alabama clearly has the advantage. That Georgia secondary is struggling. Joey Aguilar looked very comfortable. And you're dealing with a quarterback in Ty Simpson, who in the last 2 games, his incompletions have come. And I'm going to pull these stats back up real quick. I got to go back and pull these back up because this boy Ty Simpson is on a tear right now. His incompletions on the season outside of the Florida State game, right? His 5 out of his last 3 out of his last 5 incompletions have been drops by wide receivers. One was a throwaway and one was a overthrow. A throwaway and an overthrow. So since Florida State, when he had 20 incompletions, he went 23 of 43. He's only had 5 incompletions in his last 46 passes. You're talking about a quarterback that's starting to find his rhythm, and these aren't just short passes. We're talking about the deep bomb to Jeremy Bernard was a 46-yarder, right? His longest touchdown completion right now is a 75-yard pass that was the screen to Ryan Williams. And every week he's added on a touchdown to his his touchdown passing total. 2 against Florida State, no interceptions. 3 against ULM, no interceptions. 4 against Wisconsin, no interceptions.
And you're talking, I mean, basically a perfect QBR the last 2 weeks, 80% completion percentage. Last 2 weeks, 80 plus, 100% 1 week, and 80. So, and the passing yard averages are still looking generally the same. So we'll be right back after these messages, y'all. I'll be right back after these messages. Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notifications button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community. And also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Subscribe, you do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook, through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
Coordinators, and so just I think overall just excited about the week upcoming, the preparation, getting ready for a very good Georgia team, one that's undefeated, going to Athens, Georgia. Going to be a great atmosphere, great environment, something our guys are looking forward to. You can tell just with the way we've had practices here at the end of last week, yesterday, just high energy, and looking forward to the challenge.
All right, thanks, Coach. Let's start with Dave, front right.
Yeah, do you expect Jam to be able to go for the game?
I do expect him to go. He practiced yesterday, been building up last week, his volume, and so expect him to play.
Jumping over to the left side, Chase.
staying with Jam Miller, what does his pass protection ability bring to the running backs, especially in a game like this where you're playing a really physical defense on the road?
Yeah, no question that Jam's a complete back all around, not just what you see with him carrying the football, but in his pass protection, both responsibility and the ability to get the job done physically as well. So he's very important that way. He's someone that we trust at the highest level. And just, in fall camp and spring ball, goes back to last year, he's just been super consistent as a pass protector, not just as a guy who can carry the football.
Let's go to Jamie on the front right.
Hey, Coach, how important is discipline in a game like this where penalties, mistakes, and crowd noise could swing momentum?
Yeah, I mean, not every game, but a lot of these games that you have in the SEC come down to one possession, and going into the fourth quarter. And when you have games that are that close, it's a play here, a play there that keeps the drive alive. A lot of times it comes down to penalties. Obviously, there's an execution piece that is really important throughout the game, but you don't know when that penalty is. Is it the one that extends the drive in the first quarter, the fourth quarter? You got to be able to be focused and be disciplined for 4 quarters and more if needed.
Staying on the right side, let's go to Charlie next.
Yeah, Coach Womack said that Tim's going to be able to go. Tim Keenan's going to be able to go this week. Just what kind of boost does that give your defense up front?
Yeah, I think in a couple of ways. I mean, he's voted team captain for a reason. And so the energy he's brought, the last even 2 to 3 weeks, just, his juice, and he's that way naturally. He loves this place. I think, his perspective of being on the sideline has brought another level of energy to him that our defense and our whole team can really has responded to. And then on top of it, he's a big anchor, big body in there that can kind of hold down the line of scrimmage, get a push in the pocket on pass plays. And so it's good to have him back. And, he's had a couple good days here and continue to build here through the week of practice is what we're expecting.
Go to Kennington back right.
Just what have you seen in the last few weeks from the team? Could be in game, could be in practice, that gives you confidence that they'll be able to go on the road and execute on like what happened in week 1?
Yeah, whatever we've asked of this group, they've just been so coachable and, I think talking through and going through, what we've experienced together, you got to prove it on the football field, but just the way that they want to respond in practice, I think has carried over into what we've done, at least in these home games, these last 2 weeks. And so, we got to be resilient. We know there's going to be storms that we're going to have to weather in the SEC on the road. And you gotta do it. No one else is going to go do it for you. I know there's a high want-to factor that this group has. Again, they've shown it in the work. They've shown it in their preparation. And that's the key. Really just prepare, invest, and do everything you can to be confident and do something special together. And so, just ask these guys to empty the tank every single day. And they've done that. And that's what we got to do on Saturday. But we're going to have to be resilient, and understand that adversity against good football teams is going to happen and know what our response is going to be, choose our response, and understand what that looks like even now, not just when it happens.
Jumping to the left side, let's go to Colin.
Kind of in that same vein, has there been a change in conversation, a change in schedule when it comes to approaching games on the road, especially heading into this week, maybe compared to week 1?
I mean, I think you do the same things. You might tweak something here and there, but I think it still comes down to, your preparation and execution. Every game's a little different depending on how far you travel and all that, where you're staying. And that's a lot of the times how the coordination of the schedule, might be impacted. And so for us, the flight and then the drive the next morning, that's going to be different than it is in some other cities that we go to.
All right, so if you want to see the rest of the interview, AL.com has that full interview there. Coach Caleb DeBoer, shout out to Coach Caleb DeBoer and the staff, man. Get ready for a big week, man. Get ready for a big week. Want to jump into the next part of this conversation to close out this, to get into the second half of the show. And this is the BAMA versus UGA breakdown. Now, we talked about both teams. My fault, man. My cousins, they trying to figure out what we're doing for the Georgia game.
I told him I will be here doing a live watch party, working. We have an opportunity to, we'll be having a lot of eyes on us this weekend, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all stop in. I know it ain't customary for some of y'all to watch, have the YouTube chat up, but it gets real intense in the chat. It gets real interesting when we have live game watch parties, people talking back and forth. It gives, I don't know about y'all, but I've gotten to the point now, watching the game alone is probably fun, but being able to interact with people through trash talk and through the Twitters and the spaces, I used to didn't think I had time for it, but now I find myself making it a part of the game, and it's fun. It's fun. It adds an extra level of emotion to the game. You in between plays trying to debate if you want to tweet something or if you want to reply to something or whatever. It adds a level of excitement, and I kind of want to embrace that environment here on the Coach Smook Network. So we're gonna have I'm putting out some personal invites to the Hall of Fame crew, right? Not Hall of Fame crew, House of Crimson, HOC. I'm sorry, House of Crimson. I want them guys to pull up in this chat this weekend. And like I said, I know. Listen, if we end up, if something feel off to you once the game start, by all means dip out. But that post game calling show gonna be crazy. Now I have to make this official announcement this weekend, just this weekend only. Not this is the one where I will have the live game calling already live and ready to go by the time we get done. As a matter of fact, I think the live game watch party will turn into the live call-in show, depending on how we do this. So it's gonna be a vibe. Y'all just make sure y'all help get the word out. I'm gonna go ahead and create the link today so that we can get that thing promoted. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one. A lot of people gonna be doing live watch parties. I want the AAA community to show up, and that's no secret. I want y'all to show up and show out. You know how the most live will have wings and everything. But let's jump into this conversation about the offense here. And I think this is something that we're starting to get a little bit more excited about as a whole fan base. The whole fan base as a whole. I think we're starting to see a little bit more support in how this offense is producing. Now, there are concerns. There are concerns amongst the fan base. If you hear a lot of the fans talk, I was on panel yesterday with Jeffrey, and first thing he said, we got to run the ball better. I disagreed. I disagreed heavily, and I think, and I can understand if somebody says we want to run the ball more, or no, he said we got to run the ball more. And I disagreed. I think we ran the ball exactly how we needed to the last 2 weeks. I don't think every game will look the same. If you get into a system or get into a spot where your offense literally looks the same week in and week out, you don't find different ways to win. So I like the fact that 1 week our offense can go for 235 rushing yards. Yes, it's against ULM, but that means we didn't have to throw the ball 50 times against a team that we shouldn't be. You get what I'm saying? We didn't have to throw the ball that many times against the ULM squad that doesn't match up skill set wise across the board or talent wise, right? So I look at the stats. We threw the ball 33 times that game, and we ran the ball 36 times that game with an average 5.9 yards per carry, right? Playing light box, they were trying to match up on the outside, giving us a lot of basic looks, and we took advantage of it. Now look at last game against Wisconsin, right? We know what happened. Do we have to go back and talk about what happened against Florida State? Ryan Grubb told us what happened against Florida State. He told us what happened against Florida State. So I don't think we need to go back and rehash that. Look at what happened against Wisconsin, though. Everybody talks about this game. They're worried about us not being able to run. I look at this game and I say 30 pass attempts, total pass attempts by the quarterbacks. One by Austin Mack, and then the other 29 by Ty Simpson with only 5 incompletions. So efficient passing game. 29 pass attempts by Ty Simpson and 22 total run attempts. 2 of those were carries by Ty Simpson, scrambling out the pocket, making plays with his legs. The other 3 or 4 were designed quarterback read runs, whatever, however you want to see it. And he was able to average out a clip of 4.2 being implemented in the offensive, in the run game. That's 6 total carries for Ty. Kevin Riley, 7 carries, 20 yards, 2.9 yards per carry, basically 3 yards per carry. Dre Washington, 6.5 yards per carry with only 2 carries. Richard Young, same thing. Tough running for him. Wasn't a very productive day, but came in and made some impactful runs,
right? Was able to convert on one of his runs. That's what it was. Short yardage runs is what he came in for. So I look at the run game and I looked at the carries were divvied out. Didn't see Daniel Hill get a carry, but you can expect him in a physical game like this against Georgia. You can expect him to probably pick up where Dre Washington carries came in. But depending on the amount of plays, if you look at the amount of plays ran with the offense, you're talking about 55 plays, 55 total plays, and we were able to hand the ball off 22 times compared to 30 passes and win the game by 3 possessions. That's an efficient offense. I don't know what else you want. I don't know what else that lets you know that you're hitting your target explosives. That means that your run offense, your run game is being respected, and that means that your quarterback is taking care of the ball and making the right decisions and moving the chains. Not a lot of third down opportunities. You're talking about 8 third down opportunities this whole game. 8 third down opportunities. You only convert 2 of them because you're not putting yourself in a lot of third down opportunities, situations. So you got to be careful when you look at these numbers and start number watching, Shaq. Let's talk about the matchups on the offensive side. I want to highlight the biggest matchup of them all. Offensive line, our offensive line compared to Georgia's offensive line. When I look at both offensive lines, the only difference that I see is Alabama's interior run game has been a lot more effective and explosive than Georgia's run game as a whole. Georgia has yet to have an explosive run game. We look at the numbers. Yes, you can number watch and go look at Georgia's numbers and be like, oh yeah, they did this against such and such. They did this against such and such. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna pull the numbers up right now and I'm gonna show you that their run game is struggling just like Alabama's. Let's look at Marshall game. If we're talking about run games, and I don't even say they're struggling. I think because Alabama is a vertical passing offense, our offense isn't designed to be an explosive. Our run game isn't designed to be explosive. You want a consistent run game. This is a run game that wants to average 3.8 to 4.2, 4.3 yards per carry. Right? You look at this team though, against Marshall. They threw the ball 32 times for 249 yards. They ran the ball 44 times against Marshall for 239 yards. This team was only averaging 5.4 yards against Marshall. And this is a team that wants to run the ball. They want to establish some physicality. Dwight Phillips Jr. is a different type of speed coming out the backfield. That's going to be a test for Alabama. I really do. I really do think he's kind of like the Kevin Riley in that running back room. He's like that Kevin Riley. But when I look as far as the explosives, we mirror the run game at Alabama and Georgia right now. We mirror, and this is not a Alabama team that wants an explosive run game or Alabama team that is designed to have an explosive run game. Extensions of the run game make explosives. The RPOs, the quick screens, the tight end screens, all of those are extensions of the run game. And that's what you see become explosives in the run game. The jet sweeps is counted as a pass, but run zone blocking scheme, pin and pull blocking schemes where you got guards pulling out in space. Those are run blocking schemes applied to semi-pass concepts that create explosives for the quote unquote run game. So when I look at it, how do I weigh these teams? Who has the advantage here? I think because of the way that Alabama implements it, it may not go down as run plays when you dump it to a quick screen to Ryan Williams or Jeremy Bernard comes in motion and you dump it off to him on a swing route, or Kevin Riley swings out the backfield and he's coming. There's lead blocks out ahead of him. It may not count as running, but that's run game. And I think Alabama does a way better job at doing that to create space for the run game than what Georgia does. A lot of you all are looking for traditional rushing stats. I'm looking at touches. Where are these touches being created? Right? Ball travel. Anything that's similar to a handoff or that gets and is not upfield passing, right? Second level, third level, that could be considered an extension of the run game. And when I look at it, Bama utilizes it a lot better. Ryan Grubb's play calling style is totally different and more extravagant than Mike Bobo. Now, what I will say is, these quarterbacks, let's talk about the quarterbacks. We're transitioning from the run game to the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks have helped the run game because they have not been turnover prone. Let me pull up the quarterback stats. I got them in my notes here. Let me pull them up. The primary stats I want to talk about. So when I look at the first 3 games between Ty Simpson and Gunnar Stockton, the QB stats, you're talking about both quarterbacks have the same amount of attempts. Ty Simpson has 1 more completion than Gunnar Stockton. The completion percentage is virtually similar. 72% for Ty Simpson, 71% for Gunnar Stockton. Passing yards, 862 passing yards for Ty Simpson, 721 passing yards for Gunnar Stockton. Yards per attempt. This is where I say that the difference in this game is for this team. I mean, for these offenses. You're looking at Ty Simpson at a 12.3 yard clip, and then you're looking at Gunnar Stockton at 8.1 yards. Passing touchdowns, 9 for Ty Simpson, 4 for Gunnar Stockton, getting started, getting it really ramped up against Tennessee. And then the passing ratings are solid. 153.67 for Gunnar Stockton, and then 186.63 for Ty. Average yards per game right now, and I think I have to go and add this back up if I think I misadded or miscalculated that, but 287.3 for Ty and 240 for Gunnar Stockton. Now this is the difference for Georgia, and this is what helped Stetson Bennett be effective and give them an opportunity to beat Alabama when they beat us. You look at Gunnar Stockton in the run game, a lot more active with his legs. And this is because I don't think this is by design. I think this is because that offensive line has been struggling. He's had to create with his legs a lot more. Look at the different amount of attempts. Ty Simpson over 3 games. At this point last season, Jalen Merrill had 42 rushing attempts 3 games in. 42 rushing attempts. And a lot of that wasn't because he was getting pressured. It was because he was choosing to take the ball out of the running back's hands, right? 42 rushing attempts at this point, 3 games in. Ty Simpson has ran the ball 17 times for 45 yards, averaging almost 3 yards per carry. You got Gunnar Stockton, who's ran the ball 28 times, almost averaging 5 yards per carry. Ty Simpson has only got 1 rushing touchdown, hasn't had to utilize his legs much because of the protection, able to get the ball, the pass touchdowns up. Gunnar Stockton has had to create with his legs. Right, we've seen some quarterback design runs in the red zone. They come out in 3 tight end, 13 personnel set, right? And they'll get QB zone run game going with Gunnar Stockton. That's something that they do. Mike Bobo does with this offense, and he's averaging about 40 yards a game on the ground. When I look at it, I just talk about explosives. Ty Simpson has completed 7 20-plus yard passes this season in 3 games. At this point last year, Jalen Merrill only had 4. No, I'm sorry. Ty Simpson only has 7 incompletions for 20-plus yards. He has completed 19 passes, 20-plus yards, 20 or more yards. 19 passes, 20 or more yards. Gunnar Stockton, last game was his most passes, 20-plus yards, which was 6. He has 8 total for the season. So hitting the explosives hasn't been a key contributor, a key factor for this quarterback play with Georgia. Now, to pad that stat or to help this stat or help us understand the explosive, the 20-plus yard passing stat, I want y'all to think about this. Georgia's defense has given up 11 passes this season. We're talking Marshall, we're talking Tennessee, and we're talking Austin Peay. Georgia's secondary or their passing defense has given up 11 20-plus plays, 20-plus passes this season. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Alabama has had 17 passes of 20-plus yards or more in their first 3 games. 4 of them coming against Florida State. Georgia had 6 against Tennessee. Now, I'm just saying, that's a number to think about when you look at these offenses and this quarterback play, right? Can Gunnar Stockton come out of quote-unquote character? Can he come out of character and try to test Alabama's secondary and try to hit us for the deep shot plays? And how does that look? This is an aggressive secondary.
when we're in phase, we make some great plays on the ball. The safety robber technique has been effective against quarterbacks who aren't as strong, right? Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard, Dre Kirkpatrick have been kind of your ball hawks in that secondary. We're going to see. But the quarterback stats, those 20 plus yards, those impact plays or those big shot plays are going to matter. Those numbers matter. All right. Conversions, both quarterbacks around the same as far as third down conversion. Both teams sitting at about a 52% clip for the season. 49% for 49.8% for Alabama and 51.3% for Georgia. So I'm looking at all these numbers. These are quarterback key contributors of these are stats and numbers that quarterbacks contribute to. They impact the most. Right. And truth be told, we're talking about two quarterbacks that have taken care of the ball this season. Two quarterbacks that have taken care of the ball this season. 0 interceptions to this point. Who's the first one to make a mistake? I think that's not the difference in the game, but it impacts the game tremendously. Who's the first to make a mistake? If it's me in a perfect world, I think Ty Simpson early mistake is the best thing that could happen to Alabama in this game. A Ty Simpson early mistake with him having the opportunity to put the defense out there to make an impact play and him to follow up and rebound from it. That's the type of momentum you would like to see from a guy like Ty Simpson who struggled against Florida State, right? As far as being comfortable, getting comfortable. Could a negative incident in the game, not game changing, but negative, can that happen for him and he just snap out of it? That's what I would like to see. Perfect world though, Ty Simpson comes out, starts off first drive just like they did against Florida State. Just like they did, a lot more comfortable. Don't have that look of that deer in the headlight look in his eyes. Come out a lot more comfortable and see what he does. We talked about the running backs. We talked about quarterbacks. We talked about the offensive line a little bit. I wouldn't wait for another segment later on in the week to talk about offensive line. We're going to break that down. Let's talk about the receiving corps from both sides, man. Now, Georgia's wide receivers historically or recently in history don't necessarily get a lot of love. They don't get a lot of love. One, because if truth be told, the wide receiver at Georgia in recent history have been severely underutilized. You know, Lad McConkey brought some big numbers, some explosive. Brock Bowers, you know, they came and they did their thing, but you know, before that, you had so many names come through that just didn't seem to, you know, ever break out. Well, I got a feeling that this group right here is pretty confident this year, and they're going to start a new trend for Georgia, right? They're going to start a new trend for Georgia receivers, and it might become an attractive destination if Georgia could end up, you know, signing the big QB signee in this class, this 26 class. But you're looking at a team right now, man. Gunnar Stockton built some confidence against Tennessee. Guys that I saw showing up, London Humphreys, number 16. That dude he's a not a problem, but he's a solid piece for a wide receiver, man. He's a veteran guy, right? London Humphreys, Noah Thomas, another guy. I think is that the Noah Thomas that came from Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken? Oh, and then A&M. I'm sorry, A&M. I was thinking about the color of the jersey. Noah Thomas right there, Texas A&M transfer. Another guy, sneaky athletic, can get up the field. Zachariah Branch, we know what his talent was coming out of high school. Lived up to the hype at USC. Didn't necessarily have the assets around him to really be explosive. But definitely made some plays even during that tenure, his time at USC. And then Colby Young is a guy that's missed out last year, had some issues. Come back this year and is looking like a grown man out there. He's a big body receiver, and they're going to have their opportunities, right? I truly believe this is a game where we will truly see the coverage or the covering ability of our secondary. We will see the true covering ability from our secondary. How good of a covering
What type of zero coverage guys do we have? I think that's our best asset in the secondary. Putting guys in press man, give them too high look. Let guys figure it out underneath. Let guys man up and bump it out. Let's see that Mo Linquist's philosophy and technique and coaching development be put to display. I truly believe this game right here, if you eliminate these guys' opportunities to be effective, especially in the explosives, if you're able to get hits on these guys early, and that's one thing I do think we will see. The physicality of our secondary has not been in question this season. I think they've been probably bringing the pop more. They've been bringing more pop than the linebackers, the inside linebackers, Alabama secondary. We've seen this Georgia wide receiver core drop some passes this season. I haven't seen anybody really create separation as far as the speed of burner. Dylan Bell is a fast guy. Zakovi White is another fast one, the red shirt freshman. He's another burner. But how much will they really try to test us downfield? How much will they be able to? Because Georgia's offensive line has problems, man. We're going to talk about the offensive line later, but they got some weapons in the wide receiver room. Flip the page. We know what we have. We've seen what we have in action. I mean, Georgia knows what we have in Ryan Williams. Everybody knows about Ryan Williams. All right. But Jeremy Bernard has been on a tear since last season. He's been the most consistent. Isaiah Horton, it seems to be waking up. Lacier Brooks starting to get a lot more looks and a lot more touches. Josh Cuevas, Caleb Edwards being implemented in this passing game. I think we might see some Brody Dalton coming this week, number 89. I would love to see him or Marshall Pritchard. One of those two is going to emerge as a third receiving asset in the tight end room. We run a lot of 2 tight end sets. We run a lot of 12-man sets, so 12 personnel. So I see one of those guys getting their opportunity this week against Georgia. That middle of the field is going to be so important. Running back, tight end, slot receiver is going to have a lot of opportunities to make plays against this defense in the middle of the field. If we pump Kirby into dropping 8, if we pump Kirby and Glenn into dropping 8 for majority of these play calls, he's going to regret it. Alabama going to eat that junk alive. Drop 8. We're going to eat that alive. And somebody said it about Wilk and Formby on Twitter, talking about Wilk and Formby being a problem. I don't think this is the game we have a problem. This is the matchup. This is where our offensive line is built to handle the front like this. Kirby's going to have to come with some extravagant stunts to get our guys' heads on, moving and looking in the wrong spots. A lot of delays, a lot of things where you're going to have to delay pressures and throw off time. And because if you try to beat us head up like you've done everybody else this season, it's not going to work. But the wide receiver room is definitely loaded. Talk about Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard. I like to talk about these guys. Rico Scott has been a slick, explosive pass catcher for Alabama. Every time he touches the ball, we're talking about him averaging a first down. Jalen Hale, we see him get more opportunities in the rotation. Should see some targets there. I'm loving like I said, Lacier Brooks. That guy's fast. I guarantee you, watching film this past week, I guarantee you, Ty Simpson sees this guy in the slot against what's the young man's name? The defensive back at Georgia, Dylan Everett. If we see Lacier Brooks in the slot against Dylan Everett or anybody other than KJ Bolden, it might be lights out for Georgia. Ellis Robinson, too slow. Struggled horribly against Tennessee. Daniel Harris, too slow. I'm saying with Lacier Brooks, I think you guys are going to bracket a lot when it comes to Ryan Williams, which I believe at this game we're going to see him on the perimeter a lot. I'll put him on the boundary a lot against Georgia. Make that safety extend. Let's open up these seams. Let's catch them in roll coverage. Kirby like to extend past the seams and roll his backside safety to the to the near side hash. He love to do that. He love to do that. Try to catch you thinking you leaving a spot on the hash and you got a safety rolling right over top or right underneath that seam. Teasy said, roll Ty Simpson statement game. I think this is going to be a offensive line statement game. I see Ty having maybe 250, 280 passing. I see the run game being explosive this game because Kirby not going to commit too many bodies to the box. I don't think Georgia has 3 good corners, let alone 4. The Tennessee game showed me that they can play man, so this will be an opportunity to run against 5-6 man fronts. Facts. And that's what I think is going to be the difference in this game. We're going to actually see our run game be effective. This offensive line, and to stay on topic, what the wide receivers do with the yard, with the ball after the catch, is more reason for them to force us into the run game. So if they're going to sit and drop 8 and try to give Ty time, if they give Ty 4 seconds every drop back when they drop 8, they're not going to win very many of those matchups. It's hard to cover for 5 seconds. It's hard to cover. I don't care if you're in zone, whatever. It's hard to cover, especially the middle of the field. You want to need a good push. And right now, our interior pass pro and run blocking is probably the best in the country. It's the best we've seen at Alabama since probably 2018, 2017. The interior run and the interior blocking. We mess around and find out what's happening with our tackles and get those guys confident and solidified on the perimeter. We talk about a national championship style offensive line. So, wide receiver wise, though, what we can do with the ball after the catch is what scares. I believe is scares the rest of the country. Now, what I do see happening with this wide receiver matchup, because of what Alabama likes to do in getting the ball out of their hands quick, a lot of those mesh concepts against this Georgia defense, getting those backs trailing in coverage, Ty Simpson able to lead guys. I see a lot of them quick slants, those RPO read alerts, all of those different backside slant reads, getting that nickel back to crash. Jaden Harris is very aggressive. Number 12, he's very aggressive in run support. You get him caught out of position, and I think they use him on a lot of their dime type looks, so they'll bring him on their small nickel type looks. You get him crashing off the edge a lot, right over his head. You're going to see a lot of different pre-snap motions and things from Alabama. Or you should. That's what I expect from Ryan Grubb. You saw it early with Nick Sheridan against Georgia last year. I think you're going to see a lot more of it, especially when it comes to the run game. Getting that pre-snap motion, getting some shifts established, trying to see what the defense is trying to disguise. Kirby's going to disguise, and be aggressive, hopefully. And if that's the case, got to make the right reads and capitalize early, pull them out of that momentum and that confidence to be able to call like that. All right, let's get into the comments, man. We talk about wide receivers, blah, tight ends. We're talking about tight ends and offensive lines with our guests on tomorrow. I think we have a guest tomorrow. So we'll get into that tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all for having the conversation. Let's get into the comments. I'm the first Georgia comment breakdown. We're going to check back with y'all. Let me see. What's up, Melvin? Good to see you, my boy. Well, Melvin said he ready to call in. That was a good phone call yesterday, Melvin. I got clips coming up for y'all. What we got? Let me see. Read option, big facts, big Frank facts. He said, big facts, Smook, read option. People listen too much to talking heads narratives. Facts. And it's only one run game that's really giving every defense has had problems with that read option. That spread option, it's giving everybody problems when you have an athletic quarterback that's going to hit those 10 to 15 passes in the game or have an opportunity to hit those 10 to 15 passes. But when he can do it all with his legs and get your defense overextended, guys aren't running, filling lanes right, it's going to be effective. And that's where most defenses struggle with. It ain't just Kane Womack. Georgia struggled with it too. They will have something drawn up for Georgia that they haven't seen. The same thing happened last year. Facts. I guess I came in at the right time. We need Jaden Roberts and Michael Carroll on the right side, period. I'm not gonna too much want to move Geno Vandermark off that right guard position. He's been so disciplined. He may not have had dominant pancake blocks and getting the same type of push as Jaden Roberts, but he hasn't been a weak point. He hasn't allowed any sacks to come through his lane. He hasn't allowed pressure to come through his lane. His run fits. I mean, his run blocking is efficient. It's not as nasty and as explosive as Jaden, but it's definitely been consistent. That's why I don't mind the rotation. When you need a different type of push, go ahead, throw Jaden in. But to get some consistency established on both types of protection, both pass pro and run blocking, I think Geno gives us that. He establishes that rhythm. Jaden Roberts has struggled in pass pro. Let's just be honest. And I love Jaden Roberts in when he's rolling, he's rolling. But when they're sitting in exotic blitzes and stuff, him and Caden Proctor, they're a step late. They're a step late in processing that stuff a lot of times. When stuff crosses their face and they got to pass it off, they struggle. But what's helped with that is the efficient pass blocking from the running backs. I think this year now they've simplified it up front to where the guard gets to pick the assignment and he tries to flush that assignment to the running back or to the secondary blocking assist, the secondary blocking that's helping him, right? So if the guard is established that he's getting the second level, the linebacker second level, that means he's chipping anything that crosses his face and he's trying to pick up that linebacker blitz. So the running back got anything coming through that gap between that guard. And we've seen a lot more efficiency there. So Jaden Roberts, I agree. He's a lot more explosive, but I think Geno has done a great job. Cam Dewberry, we love what he's done since he's gotten to Bama, and we saw it coming. Him and Arkell and Guam are going to be pieces for the future. They will have something drawn up. Is Jaden back? Jaden is back. Jaden been back. He was back last game. I just want to see consistent push from our interior that will allow our backs some room to move forward. I mean, they have provided that. Jarvis, I'm curious in knowing how Kirby will play our wide receivers. Does he double or bracket Ryan and leave Jeremy in single coverage? If he does that and they're not able to get home with 4, in order to bracket, you gotta be able to get home with 4. If you trying to bracket, that means somebody in the receiving corps out of 5 eligible receivers or 4, because usually when you see that type of look, you want 6-man protection. So 4-on-4, I like the space that my receivers have to work with against that type of coverage. You know, whether you bracket between, if you give a mixed look with bracket and zone, I mean, you got an underneath man with a guy shadowing over top, and then you got zone coverage everywhere, guys playing in areas. You're trying to force a read into a certain part of the field. I don't think Kirby's going to be able to confuse Ty. Ty's a smart quarterback. This is a coach's son that we're talking about with a coach's mind. Ty can't let the road jitters get him. He has to calm down and run the offense like he's expected to. Yep. We may be able to capitalize interception wise on Stockton's long pass attempts. That's what my hope is. I think right now with the pass rush that we have, the pressure that we've been able to provide, you getting a guy like Tim Keenan back, you get to keep motors like Steve Bola and London Simmons fresh. You know, Asad Faker has been effective in the run game too. He's been shedding blocks way more effectively than what we've seen from some of the other defensive linemen. And he's another round mound, another guy that's hard to move in the interior. So, and yeah, Branch is fast. T said, roll Ty Simpson statement game. Facts, man. Let's get some more comments, man. Melvin says, thank you everybody on the chat for praying, family. No problem, bro. Much love, man. What up, coach? You cooking today? Love the analysis. Appreciate you, Rondo. Much love, man. Roll Tide. Off the beaten path Friday unless coach decides sooner. What you talking about? Yo, Hines. Oh, when is the next calling show? I want to talk to you about Bama's run scheme. Oh, okay, that's what you was talking about, Zach. We're doing the next calling show. It's going to be Friday. It's going to be Friday morning. We got the first morning calling show, then Friday evening. And then the next calling show after Friday evening will be the post-game calling show following Alabama, Georgia. And I guarantee you, I don't care what the result of that game is, I guarantee you we will be up all night. We'll be up all night after the game. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for our show today, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Now, tonight, y'all will see me live on Alabama, the Voice of College Football. That's where you will get our in-game analysis, my breakdowns, of where I expect to happen, how I expect the matchups to be. Today, I just kind of acknowledge some of the things that are highlighted on each roster, personnel-wise, schematically, coaching, philosophy-wise. Some of the things that you're not going to hear in mainstream because it's not the main narrative. But I truly believe that these are things that do need to have some attention paid to it. Those 20-plus yard pass attempts by the quarterback, the effectiveness, the percentage, completion percentage on those, the amount of attempts, it tells you something about the mentality of the quarterbacks and what they're seeing on the field and what the protection is feeling like, right? This is both offensive lines have not been able to establish as a whole unit their identity. This is a game where you want to do that. Same with the defensive lines. Can either defensive line get pressure, right? Schematically, the 4-2-5 versus what Mike Bobo likes to do as far as the zone run blocking, the zone run scheme. That's what this 4-2-5 is built to contain and to be able to nullify, to attack. If Georgia comes out with some pre-snap motion, jet sweep, option, orbit type stuff, we might have a problem because Gunnar Stockton has some legs and we just got to be able to tackle. No blazing speed, just got to be able to tackle. What's up, Chosen? Good to see you, my boy. Good to see you, my boy, Roll Tide. Good to see you. Hey, that's my partner right there, man. Good to see you, my boy, RJ. Roll Tide, man. Oh, man. So appreciate y'all for pulling up today. And y'all, don't forget, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where the main content is. You all showing up on YouTube truly helps the brand grow. YouTube is doing things to really support the content creators with their original content. And I'm proud to say that our show has been selected. We're being evaluated every Monday, Friday, and Saturday. Every show we're being evaluated, and we're being put in place for some things to happen with our branding here in the next couple 2 to 3 years, man. We're going to be doing some things on a bigger level, and it's all because of y'all support. You all sharing, liking, subscribing, and supporting. Becoming members, the donations, everything is helping this channel grow. When you talk about this channel, and you talk about the things that's happening here, whether you agree or disagree, right? Whether you agree or disagree, you got to it's good for the show, it's good for the channel. So make sure you drop a like. Let me see how many likes we're at right now on the stream. We're at 42 likes, almost at 50 again here on the live show. I told y'all, anytime we go past an hour and a half, we get closer to 50, but when we don't, we always put our 30 like goal, and then for the likes over the stream, when the stream is out, we get like hella views and hella likes afterwards. Roll Tide, my guy, I see you over there. The mob, I see you, my boy. Roll Tide, man. Melvin Anderson said one ugly dog. Great show. Appreciate you, Mike Jones. Adrian, I like how you keep dialing my dogs. Dialing your dogs. I'm keeping a note of it. You better. Oh, you saying dialing your dogs. You better keep note. Tap to you on the phone line. We got the phone line open up Friday, man. Make sure you tap in Friday. Tell all your dogs to pull up so you can have some support. And then I'm gonna do the live game watch party this Saturday. Like I said, we got some opportunities ahead. I think we'll have some eyes on that one too. So I'll be acting up. I'll definitely be acting up, breaking the game down, doing some reaction stuff. And hope y'all tune in and support and help us. I'm going to be lit that game. Win, lose, or draw, we're here. Coach Smook Network will be here. But tonight, again, 6:30, Alabama, the voice of college football. I'll be there. We'll be streaming here on the channel here too. So if you want to put on this side, do so. Support. Make sure you subscribe to the Alabama, the voice of college football though, because after the Tennessee game, we won't be doing any more dual streaming. Every time we do a show over there, that's what we'll be doing it from. But I really want to try to grow the network over there. So if you're tapping in over here, by all means, come through, drop a like, jump in over there, drop a like, drop a comment, help that algorithm. And if you just feel more comfortable over here, that's fine. We're going to get it all integrated. That their chat is not like AAA chat all the time. That chat is, but it can be. The more we spread our AAA like, the better this BAMA fan base will be. How about that? So I appreciate y'all for supporting again. He said I got something to say. All right, you're gonna get a chance, bro. I got you. Hey, Adrian, we playing the game? When you trying to run it? I gotta get it recorded and edited and put out. Come on, man. You been talking to Gunner? What is he pissed about? Let me know when you want to run it, man. And any other Georgia fans that want smoke on that NCAA, we running it today. I'm gonna get off here and get me food, and I'm gonna be ready. I think I'm gonna be ready by 12:30. I'll be live at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna go live at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time, I'm gonna go live at 1 o'clock. Adrian, we got to do it before Friday. I think Thursday night probably be the best. Or tomorrow night. Tomorrow night might be the best. Wednesday night might be the best. I think Wednesday night might be the best. Yeah, Wednesday night. Let's do it Wednesday night, tomorrow night. That way you can get some practice. I don't want no excuses. I want you locked in. All right. But chat, that being said, don't forget to check out the merch. And remember, y'all, shout out to all our sponsors, everybody that's been donating. You are a co-sponsor on the stream today. All of our partners, all of our sponsors that support the network and the growth of it. We appreciate you. Shout out to the AAA community, every member in this community on the YouTube channel, and on other platforms. All the subscribers, all the donos. We thank you. Thank you here at the Coach Smook Network. And remember, y'all, when you see me in the streets, holla at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be blessed.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holla at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.